Well, joining me now, three of my favorite political analysts, all CNN contributors. Republican strategist, former White House political director Ed Rollins, also the chair of the Mike Huckabee presidential campaign, New York Daily News columnist, host of the morning show on WWRL, Errol Lewis here in New York, and Democratic strategist, Democratic National Committeeman Robert Zimmerman. Good to see you, Robert.
Good to be with you.
What is going on? I mean, Barack Obama looks like a fellow who just sort of cocked his hat and said, you know, we're going to take everybody on. I'm going to threaten the Congress filled with my Democratic brothers and sisters with a veto. We're going after you.
Actually, it's a novelty to see for the first time in 8 years leadership. We have the president-elect setting an agenda. We have Congress showing, in fact, that they're going to be a co-equal branch of government. And I think it's very healthy to see this debate go on. So I'm encouraged by the debate. I'm encouraged by the exchange, and I think it will work well.
Now, I may shock you right now, but I join you in that. I actually agree with you. Errol, as we look at what is happening here, it is, though, peculiar at best to see a president-elect trying to defend a nominee who's in trouble. We've heard him trying to say there's just nothing to it. His Treasury Secretary nominee is just a little mistake, not paying taxes for 4 years, not noticing even after some folks have brought it to your attention that your the Transportation Secretary nominee, you know, looks like he sort of took care of some folks who took care of him. They called it pay and play in Illinois, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, it gets a little complicated, doesn't it?
Well, I think what it is he may be suffering the same mistake that people often do when they have a big political victory, which is maybe overestimating the amount of political capital and goodwill that he's got. But make no mistake about it, he's got a lot to give away. And if you notice, a lot of these things are being rolled out. The Geithner situation they knew about, it's being rolled out before next week's inauguration. Next week's inauguration is going to lift this administration on soaring wings. There'll be people crying in the streets. It'll be a big historical moment. That goodwill, I think, is political capital that he clearly has calculated that he can spend on some candidates that maybe need a little help for some of his cabinet posts.
Not to be an old cynic here, he's been through about 9 inaugurations. The soaring wings of an inaugural last about 35 seconds after the garbage is picked up out of the mall. This president is going to be challenged by his own party. I've said this over and over again on this show. The early bailout was a disaster, and Congress overwhelmingly voted for it. I think they're getting some heat back home from people who don't like spending taxpayers' monies and not getting any reward for it. So I think you're going to have some honest debate here. But I think at the end of the day, there was kind of a rush here. And I think that the Treasury Secretary is now the second cabinet officer who basically hasn't quite passed mustard. You should have known that when the U.S. Attorney was investigating Governor Richardson that something was going on there. And obviously a guy who basically has been in the Treasury Department, a guy who's going to go back into Treasury and be the chief law enforcement officer in the Treasury, should be paying his taxes.
Well,
Well, let me
wait
just
a minute. I just got
You don't think he should have to pay his taxes?
No, let me point out he did pay his taxes. In 2006, when this was brought to his attention, he paid his taxes, and during the transition process, and I think that's fair to point out.
In 2001 and 2, he didn't pay his taxes while he was at the IMF. In 2003 and 4, he didn't pay his taxes. It turns out that an audit revealed that he hadn't paid his taxes in 3 and 4. He did not, subsequently, that did not jolt his memory that he hadn't paid them in 2 previous years. That was pointed out by the Obama transition team that he had missed those 2 years, and then he did come around to it.
If I may point out, if you go to the IRS website, they'll point out that almost 50% of federal employees who work in embassies or international organizations make this very honest mistake.
No, but 100%,
and I think it was a very honest mistake.
100% of all presidential appointees. 100% of all presidential appointees. You sign a document when you come in that the IRS basically turns over all the documents.
Right.
It's one of the things that you absolutely have to do. You have to pay your taxes in order to become a presidential appointee.
And he paid his taxes.
Okay, I think the points are made here, but the record is straight. He didn't pay his taxes for 4 years, and he needed outside help to be jogged into remembering that a taxpayer in this country pays taxes when working for a living, as we all do here, or at least, well, you and I do, Errol. This is Larry Kudlow, one of the folks invited to a conservative fest with the president-elect last night. I'd like to just show everybody what a Larry Kudlow conservative person does after meeting with the president-elect. He is charming. He's terribly smart, bright, well-informed. He has a great sense of humor. He's so well-informed, and he loves to deal with both sides of an issue. Let's contrast this, if we may, with Kudlow's constant praise of President Bush on his Money and Politics blog in 2006, commenting on a major economic speech from President